Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have another awesome trophy list from one of you champion subscribers. And today we have got Moto Compa, who says, hello there Jahanza. Hello Moto Compa. Thank you for being patient and I cannot wait to review your amazing trophy list. So let's look at the numbers. 5,670 trophies, 132 platinums, amazing. 574 golds, well over 1,000 silvers, and 3,500 bronze trophies. Look at these numbers: 143 games played, 141 completed, 98.66% completion rate. Unbelievable. And I think the 2 games that aren't completed are games you're working on right now, so absolutely crazy. Averaging 3.27 trophies per day, and you are in the top 330 for the wonderful Norway. So that is very impressive. So in terms of stats, we've got 132 platinums, 7 of which are ultra rare. And a lot of these trophy lists, you know, we get specialists. Like we had Dragon Dance was a racing specialist. We've had Shaz was a COD specialist. And today we've got a specialist in a very popular gaming franchise. So we've got 2 Call of Duty Platinums in this list, 6 Soulsborne games, 8 God of War games, and 23 Final Fantasy games, which is just absolutely unreal. So let's get into this trophy list. I'm ashamed to say I've never played a Final Fantasy game. I don't know why. I really don't know why, but I have access to 7 remakes, so I think I will try one. I'll probably be crap at it, but let's have a look. So starting off the list with obviously naturally a Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy 13 on the PS3. The thing with these Final Fantasy games is they take a lot of time. So, well, 7 didn't, but then if you look at 9, 130 hours, 8 out of 10, 2 weeks, 5 out of 10, 90 hours, 2 weeks, and even Final Fantasy 7 you just did in 4 days. So just absolutely smashing through these Final Fantasy platinums. Platinum number 4 is of course the platinum that everyone in the world except me has, God of War. Very nicely done in basically a week and a half. So just absolutely powering through these platinums. Then we've got Tekken 7, very nice. And then the Spyro trilogy, all back to back, which is really good. A trilogy that I've also done. I know it's very popular with a lot of the subscribers. We got Dragon Quest. A lot of the games here are kind of big hours, like 90 hours. Dragon Quest 11, 2 weeks, 2 days. Again, just got it done so quickly. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, a nice classic. Final Fantasy 10 HD, nicely done. 110 hours, again done within 2 weeks. Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom, 85 hours, I think multiple playthroughs done over the course of half a year. And then we got Final Fantasy 15. I should have done a lesson in Roman numerals before I did this trophy list. 80 hours, 1 month, 2 weeks. I mean, some of these, it's interesting. Some of these Final Fantasies go from like being 8 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, some are 3 out of 10. I should really pick like the one that's the least out of 10 and then try that one. And then look at this, Dragon Quest Heroes 2, 200 hours. That's a huge platinum. 6 out of 10, 2 months and 1 week. Final Fantasy 13-2. I never get the numbering system of Final Fantasy. I know there's like different versions of the same game, I think. 60 hours, 2 weeks, 6 days. So absolutely just, yeah, powering through these platinums. Lightning Returns, which is Final Fantasy 13. I don't know if that's like a spin-off or a prequel or something. And then onto a Far Cry New Dawn. Probably between Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 6. probably the hardest Far Cry Platinum. Not that it's hard, but it's out of the games, it's the hardest because you got to do the I forgot what they call it in the game. There's like 8 extra missions that you have to do up to 3-star, and you can do it co-op. Expeditions, that's it, expeditions. But yeah, Far Cry New Dawn is a good game. It's like a direct sequel to 5. And if you play it on the PS5 and download the patch for HDR, it looks really good. And then we've got The Order. I'm deliberately not scrolling up because we've got a special platinum coming up. Then we got The Order 1886, which is a game I always recommend to beginner trophy hunters. It's one that you can literally do in one day like Moto did, 13 hours, 42 minutes. But yeah, really good beginner's platinum and quite a good game, honestly. It's really good. Just the only issue with it is obviously it's really short, which everyone always complains about. And then we have got an absolute diamond platinum next up, a platinum I desperately want and I've been chipping away at this month. Red Dead Redemption 2. Got to give the Redemption round of applause. Nicely done. And you did this in 2019, so not too long after it came out. I think it was 2018 it came out. And you did it in 3 months and 3 weeks. And in those days, I think it was even harder to do the platinum because the online, I'm not sure if all the online, what do you call it, roles had been created. So when I did the online trophies last year, I picked the collector role, which meant I just kept doing that again and again and again and just grinded to level 50. So I don't know if you had that, but yeah, absolutely amazing platinum to have. So well done on that. And I think it deserves more than 5 out of 10 personally. Yeah, it's viewed as not a hard platinum, but it's not, obviously it's not difficult. It's not like a soulsborne game, for example, or you know, but it is still, there's some parts that are a bit tricky, particularly the medals. Then straight on to another banger. Look at this. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. 7 out of 10. That's probably being kind. 60 hours. A very, very difficult game made from Software. And you did it in 2 weeks, 4 days. If you gave me this game in 2 weeks and 4 days, I would probably like just about finish level 1, like the first level. And then straight on to another absolute brilliant platinum. Last of Us Remastered. And look at the numbers here. 6 out of 10, 60 hours. So this is the Last of Us Remastered for the PS4, which means you have to do quite a few playthroughs. You have to do it on the hardest difficulty. Then you have to do Survivor difficulty and New Game Plus. And you have to do multiplayer. Multiplayer is based around 2 factions. And you have to do like, I think 80 games worth of multiplayer for each faction. So you have to do that twice. And Moto's done this in basically 2 weeks in January 2020, which is just absolutely insane. But really, yeah, really amazing to see. So that's a nice little trilogy of platinums right there. Red Dead 2, Sekiro, and Last of Us Remastered. And then on to Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the new one. Or sorry, the game before this one. This one's Modern Warfare 2 right now. 3 out of 10, 10 hours. This is comfortably, I think, the easiest Call of Duty Platinum. Hence why it's the only Call of Duty Platinum that I have. But it's a really fun campaign. I really liked playing it through on Veteran. There's some really good miscellaneous trophies. Then we've got Final Fantasy VIII, which again done quite swiftly in 2 weeks and 11 hours. And then Senran Kagura Burst Renewal, which I don't know too much about, but you've churned this out pretty quickly. And then Final Fantasy X-2 HD. I think I have this on the Vita because I've been building up a Vita collection over the last few years, and I tried to get kind of popular game franchises. If they release a Vita game, I tried to get that. So I've got this on the Vita, and I have considered trying it, but I don't know if the Vita is the first place I want to try a Final Fantasy game. I think it needs to be on console, on a monitor. But 130 hours, 6 out of 10, and again, done in just 2 weeks. So yeah, absolute machine. Nier Automata. I've seen this crop up a lot on trophy lists. And then we got a couple of more Far Cries, which is always nice to see. I'm a big fan of the Far Cry series. It gets a lot of hate. I'm not sure why. Primal, done in a week, and Far Cry 3 done in a week. Yeah, that's the good thing about Far Cry. If you really put the time in, you can just kind of get them done pretty quick. And then this is Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think this is what I have, although I don't know if they use the word remake or something else, like retrograde or something like that. I can't remember, but it came up on PS Plus and I downloaded it. So I have got that. If I try a Final Fantasy, it'll probably be that one. Although 5 out of 10 is putting me off. But again, 60 hours, 5 out of 10. And yeah, just churning out these platinums. Dragon Quest Heroes. Another one, 60 hours, quite a lot of hours to put in. Far Cry 4, interesting. Let's see if we get more Far Cries coming up, because you've nearly completed the set. You took your time with that one, over a month. That one's got multiplayer trophies. Infamous Second Son, one of the, I think, launch games for the PS4, still holds up today. Not quite sure why they stopped making these Infamous games. But that's another one, a very popular one. And then a PlayStation classic, Shadow of the Colossus. I've seen this available on PS Plus a few times. I haven't picked it up, I haven't tried it, but I've always heard good things about it and seen lots of videos on YouTube about it. Seems like a relatively challenging platinum, but achievable. And again, done very, very quickly. A Way Out. This is a game I like a lot. This is a co-op game from the studio that made It Takes Two. And I think the story is really good. The gameplay is fun. Underrated game, really underrated game, and very quick. This is a game, I think if you started in the morning, you could get this game done in one day. Definitely. I got it done over 2 evenings with my partner, and it is very fun and a cool platinum because it's all miscellaneous trophies. I don't think there's any story related trophies. It's all just random miscellaneous things you have to do. Ratchet and Clank, an absolute banger. I love this game, a platinum that I've got and enjoyed a lot. I think this is my favorite one. I wasn't a big fan of Rift Apart, but this is another one that if you're a beginner trophy hunter, it's definitely a game to play. It's very fun. And also if you're getting into trophy hunting, it would show you some of the things that you'll eventually do for trophy hunting, like grinding out your weapons to full abilities, doing a second playthrough, etc. Getting collectibles. Medieval. This is a game that I know is very popular in the trophy hunting community, and I remember I tried it. I played not much because I didn't want to pop a bronze trophy and get stuck into it. But it was the movement that I just couldn't get into. And I think I see a lot of you guys play it and get the platinum in it. So maybe want to download again and try again, because it is kind of a straightforward platinum, I think. 2 out of 10, 15 hours. It does look fun as well. It looks like a cool world they created. Then we got Donut County. This always pops up as well on trophy lists. It's quite a popular one. Shadow Warrior 2. So until I saw your trophy list, I presumed I played Shadow Warrior 3, which I loved, very entertaining, and I thought the other ones were harder and they made Shadow Warrior 3 Platinum easier. But then when I was looking at your trophy list, getting ready for it, I saw this is 4 out of 10. I just know there's a massive end game grind. But then you still got this done within a week, and it's free on PS Plus. So I have downloaded it and I am considering going for this. Because I loved Shadow Warrior 3. It's a first-person shooter game, a bit like Doom. You go into arenas with loads of enemies, and it's fast-paced action. The main guy is really funny, very witty, has these loads of one-liners. And look at this, Infamous First Light, 4 out of 10, 20 hours, done in a day. Very, very impressive. Because I know this game, you finish the story, but then you have like these arena battles at the end. It's kind of like you've got to grind out and fight loads of enemies, haven't you, at the end of the game? So nicely done. Gris, 5 hours. I think this is one I'm going to add to my list and have a look when I need a nice little straightforward platinum in between the more harder ones. Senran Kagura Estival Versus, probably said that really wrong, but 3 out of 10, 30 hours done in a week and 3 days. And then another very tricky platinum, Crash Bandicoot, 7 out of 10, 18 hours, very specific, but done in 2 weeks, 44 minutes. I wouldn't even attempt any of these games. They just look so frustrating and hard to do. But yeah, well done on that one. That is a nice one. Horizon Zero Dawn, a platinum that I've got and kind of quite enjoyed. Wolfenstein The New Order, nicely done. Final Fantasy 14, I have to think about that. A Realm Reborn. Look at this, 500 hours. How do you have a game that takes 500 hours? I'd understand if it was like a COD game, but like with loads of multiplayer and grinding. But yeah, 500 hours done over the course of half a year. So well done. That's, good perseverance. Very well done. And then on to an absolute banger. This has been cropping up recently on a few of your trophy lists. This is a very, very serious platinum. Devil May Cry 5. 8 out of 10, which I don't think does it justice. I think it's harder than that. 70 hours. This is one of those like Wolfenstein 2 New Colossus level platinums. Probably even harder, I think. Because Devil May Cry 5, you have to play it on the hardest difficulty, S-rank your missions, and I think you're always one-shot kill. So just one hit from any enemy, and you are killed. And at the same time, I think it's one of those games where you have to keep combos going and just to make sure you get your numbers up to hit S-rank. So that is a very, very amazing platinum and one to add to your already amazing list. I really like this. I like the color scheme as well of this game card. Then we got Strider, and then we got the 2 Middle-earth games, one of which I've done. I found this fascinating because Mordor is shorter and quicker than War, but you took longer to do Mordor and you did War in in 2 weeks. I'm sure you're obviously playing other games whilst doing this, but very good games. And it kind of just is. It's even, if you play these two, it's probably even more bizarre that they had the Gollum game come out this year, I think only a month or two ago, which flopped badly. Really, really bad flop. Which I think led to the developer apologizing within the first week, because it's like, they're capable of making very good Lord of the Ring games. These are really good games. So I'm not sure how they end up with Gollum, but yeah, I did Shadow of Mordor and I really liked it. I just thought it was a really well made game, very fun. Lots of different things to do, different types of combat. The combat's handled quite well. It's a bit like the Arkham Asylum games, except with a sword. So you can have enemies in a circle around you and you connect all your kind of hits and then counter. There's a really cool enemy nemesis system in there as well, where you kind of get into the politics of the army and stuff. It's a very good game. I really want to do Shadow of War. I hope to tackle that quite soon. I just think it's the end game grind that's putting me off. And then another one that I've done, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. This is a good game. Another good one, I think, for beginner trophy hunters. It was one of my first 7 or 8 platinums, and I wasn't sure I could do it, but in the end I did. It's quite straightforward and very fun. Just a bit of backtracking and an awkward map. Nino Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. I think we've seen this come up a few times before on people's trophy list. Again, 80 hours, done in 4 weeks, 44 minutes. Last of Us Part 2, absolute classic. I think a platinum everyone should try and have if they played this game. Very straightforward platinum. Takes 1.5 playthroughs. Got to go through the collectibles and get your weapons and skills maxed out. And then Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. I avoided this because there's a big multiplayer grind to get the multiplayer trophies, which I think you can do by yourself. But yeah, I just didn't want to put myself through that. But you did it quite quickly in 2 weeks. And then we have a little God of War session. In fact, no, a God of War season. Look at this. God of War 1, 6 days, 7 hours, done. God of War 2, 6 days, done. Chain of Olympus, 3 days. God of War 3, 5 days. Ghost of Sparta, 6 days. Ascension, 1 week, 1 day. So from 10th April to 10th May, my guy got 6 God of War Platinums. Unbelievable. Really unbelievable. I know it's quite short in terms of the hours spent, which is quite interesting. But I know they're quite difficult. I know some of them you have to do 2 playthroughs. Hardest difficulty, challenge mode, challenge of the gods mode, I think it's called on some of them. So I've got God of War 1 and 2 on the Vita, but I just, yeah, again, I don't think the Vita is the best way to experience them or try and platinum them. But I think I should get a copy for my PS3 and have a go at these God of War games. But nice to see the whole kind of most of the series done in one swoop. And then another big game that requires a lot of hours, Dragon Quest 11S, Echoes of an Elusive Age, what a name. 5 out of 10, 120 hours. And then the original Infamous on PS3, which I think I've got a copy of, but I have not played in a long time. Severed, The Sexy Brutale. I've not heard of this. This is a game I'm definitely going to look into. 5 hours, 2 out of 10. That's going to go on the list as well, alongside Gris to check out. Dynasty Warriors 6 Empires. Kingdom Hearts, 130 hours, 6 out of 10. Another long, big game. Infamous 2. Again, one I don't see quite often on trophy lists. Nice to see. Salt and Sanctuary. Done in a week. 5 out of 10, quite a tricky game. Then we start entering the Souls games. So Demon's Souls on the PS3, 8 out of 10, 50 hours done in 2.5 weeks. Very, very impressive. Very hard game. And then Dark Souls, which is again 8 out of 10, but much longer, 70 hours on the PS3. Done in a month, very nicely done. Then we get on to a racing game, Horizon Chase Turbo. Maneater, a very popular game amongst trophy hunters. Then on to an absolute banger, which is another one popular amongst trophy hunters, Ghost of Tsushima. You guys have heard my feelings on this a lot. I love this game, highly recommend it. And then Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. 6 out of 10, 80 hours, 2 months, 2 weeks. Very nicely done. Then on to Astro's Playroom, probably the most popular PS5 Platinum. Love that game. I hope they make another one. I think it'd be nice. Tales of Arise, and then complete the Dark Souls trilogy. Very nicely done. 80 hours done in 2 weeks, 2 hours on a Souls game, which is very impressive. And I think Dark Souls 3 has a bit of endgame grind, if I've understood correctly from people who've played it. Then on to another one of the all-time popular Platinums, Marvel Spider-Man, nicely done. And then last year's Game of the Year, the big one, Elden Ring. 2 weeks, 6 days, nicely done. 2 weeks and 6 days. 2 weeks and 6 days of me playing Elden Ring would be me discovering how to equip a weapon and find out where I'm meant to go. I played an hour or two with my friend on co-op, and he did say to me, is that this is not the best way to experience it. Like, you should do it solo for the start until you get into it. But I think if I ever have a slim chance of platinuming a From Software game, it will probably be Elden Ring. So, and my partner did buy it for me last year as a present, so I will try it. I will definitely try it. And probably stream it so I can get some support from you guys about where to go and what to do. But yeah, that's a very nice platinum for sure. And a great picture there, great poster they got. Final Fantasy VII Remake, you did that again on the PS5, nicely done. And then back onto Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back, done calmly in 2 weeks. Warped, done 1 week, 1 day, 4 out of 10. This is probably one of the easier ones, even though it'd still be difficult for us mortals. I never know how to pronounce this. Yves, YS, this game. 60 hours, 3 out of 10, nicely done. Lumo, not sure I've heard of this. I think this is, and it's on the Vita as well. I think this will be another one for me to add to the list to have a look at. Pyre, Odin Sphere, I can't say that word, so yeah, 3 out of 10, 35 hours. Unravel, I've thought about doing these. It looks kind of cool. You're this character made out of yarn, and you kind of like platform through different levels. And I've heard Unravel 2 is super difficult, but this one seems quite okay. 3 out of 10, 9 hours. I think maybe if it comes on sale, I think I might add it to my wish list. Kingdom Hearts 2, again, 90 hours, another big platinum, done very quickly. You like challenging platinums that take lots of hours. Whereas me, if I've done a game that has a lot of hours, I'll alternate and I'll do a short one. Gravity Rush on the Vita. This is nice to see. I own this on the Vita, and I've not had a Vita Platinum since I think February or March this year. I've only had one this year, and I've not really played it that much. And I was thinking about doing this next because it looks like it's really fun. It was made for the Vita, and I know it takes it takes advantage of the Vita's full capabilities in terms of touchscreen front and back, etc. So, and you did it in a week and a half. I think this might be one that I do look into actually, because I need to show my Vita some love. Black Clover, Quartet Knights, nice short game. I think one as well that I'm going to check out. And then I believe, if I counted correctly, in fact I'm correct actually, because it says it on the side as well, for the 100th platinum, Moto has gone for Bloodborne. Nice choice, nicely done, very nice. And let's look at the numbers. 7 out of 10. It's a very hard game. 50 hours. It's got a ton of bosses. I think there's at least 3 endings you have to get. There's certain items you can only get done a certain way with NPCs, etc. There's these big chalice dungeons that you have to grind at the end. And our guy has done this in a week and a day. Absolutely mad. Yeah, mental. I played about 2 hours of Bloodborne, and no lie, I spent the first 30 minutes of those 2 hours figuring out how to equip a weapon. I kid you not. I spent half an hour trying to find out how I equip a weapon. We'll just leave that there. Kingdom Hearts 3, 60 hours, 4 out of 10. Nice. Scarlet Nexus. I do see this game. I think it's on PS Plus. And always the front cover gets me intrigued, but I never get one step further. I never download it or anything or look into it. But nice to see that you got the platinum in that. Cat Quest. I think this is another one I see on PS Plus. I have thought about this one. Rhyme, I see this come up quite a few times on trophy lists. Kill la Kill, I've not heard of this. This will be one that I look into. And then we get into a couple of racing games before we get to a classic. Need for Speed Payback, Wreckfest. Wreckfest has got multiplayer trophies, but it is a game that, again, I've got it for free on PS Plus, and it looks fun. It is one that I wouldn't mind trying to get. I just think it's the multiplayer trophies that put me off. I would like a racing type platinum because I don't have one. It would be nice. I'm not the biggest fan of racing games, but I do like them. I mean, this is more than just a racing game, obviously. And then the big one, another contender for Game of the Year last year, God of War Ragnarok. Done two and a half weeks, basically 3 weeks. Nicely done. Still yet to play it. I do need to play it, hopefully. Because it looks quite snowy. Maybe I'll wait for the summer to finish and, let UK get a bit dark and colder, and that'll be nice. stay inside cozy and play a bit of Ragnarok. Biomutant, I got this as well through my PS Plus subscription, and I've heard lots of mixed things, so I'm not really sure if I should tackle it. You did it in a week and 2 days. It does look quite fun. It looks quite good as well. But I do hear mixed things. And then Sayonara Wild Hearts, 5 out of 10, 8 hours. Kind of interesting to see a relatively difficult game, but with a short time span to platinum it. And then Shredder's Revenge. I know this is quite difficult. I'm not sure why the numbers aren't coming up, but I know this is quite a difficult one. And then we've got Cat Quest 2, nicely done. Got the sequel there. Salt and Sacrifice again on the PS5. Strangers of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. I actually bought this game, and I think I had a voucher, and I was in a secondhand gaming store, and I just picked it up. It looked cool. But yeah, I didn't play it. I thought, my first Final Fantasy game, maybe I should pick one of the mainline ones. So I lent it to a friend, but he likes it. He's a fan of it. And then Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. It has been a while since we had a few Final Fantasy games on the list, so back to getting 2 there. Then we got Dragon Quest Builders. Moving Out, I've heard good things about this. I think it's a co-op game, a bit similar to like Overcooked. I've heard this is quite fun. Nice to see you doing that. My Hero 1's Justice, 35 hours, 3 out of 10. And then on to Evil West. Evil West, I brought up, I think Shaz had done it on the last trophy list. He'd done the PS4 and PS5 versions. And this is a game that I picked up physically. And it looks cool. It's like a third-person shooter set in the Wild West when you're facing kind of zombie-type enemies. Done in 3 weeks, 4 days. Yeah, I think it takes 2 playthroughs. You got to max out your weapons. Got to play on the hardest difficulty. But it's definitely one I want to try. Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition HD. Maybe this could be one I try. 20 hours, 3 out of 10. Pocket Edition sounds kind of, like it's going to be shorter and easier maybe. But done in less than a week. Nicely done. Then we got Final Fantasy 12, The Zodiac Age. 80 hours, 5 out of 10. Done within a month. And then Spider-Man Miles Morales. Horizon Forbidden West, which is the sequel, which you chipped away at over a year and 2 months. Yeah, one that I need to get round to eventually. And then look at this. So this is quite nice to end the trophy list. Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all done in order, all done over the course of, again, a bit like the God of War season that you had earlier, 17th May to 18th June, nearly exactly a month. A Final Fantasy season. Very nice to see. Some of these, look, 2 days to do that, 2 days to do that. So nicely done. And then your latest trophy is Panzer Dragoon, which takes us to the end of this awesome trophy list. So Moto Compa, thank you for submitting your trophy list. An amazing trophy list for sure. All those Soulsborne games, Red Dead 2, all the Final Fantasy games. Yeah, some very serious games on this, and nice to see a Final Fantasy expert in the trophy list reviews. So thank you for your patience. I know that I've got quite a few trophy lists to get through, and I'm working hard on getting them out there. So hopefully, if you're waiting, you should be coming quite soon. As always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed Moto Compa's amazing trophy list, please hit the like button. That would be awesome. And thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Take care.